Well, I'm Jenny Gibbs. I have had a long-standing interest in art. My father was an artist, my grandfather was an artist, and I've been an art collector for probably 40 years. I've also had a long-standing interest in supporting New Zealand art and artists in various ways, not just by being a collector, but by campaigning for years, for example, to get us to the Venice Biennale, and I'm still involved with that. But in the process of all that, and in talking with my good friends Robin and Erica Congreve, all of us were familiar with the Turner Prize and what that had done in Britain. We realised that that was the one time that you could guarantee the media in Britain would be really interested in contemporary art, and people had opinions about it, some vehemently opposed, some loving it, but at least they were talking about contemporary art. And over time and some discussion, the three of us basically decided there was no reason why we shouldn't do that in New Zealand, because in our opinion the best of New Zealand contemporary art is as good as any in the world, but very few people know about it outside New Zealand. So we approached the Auckland City Art Gallery and we asked them to get in behind this, and between us all we got it underway and organised. And Robin and Erica and I are the primary funders, but Saatchi came in behind, and they provide an airfare and exhibition space in New York. And then Dale Mace got in behind, who's another good friend of ours, and she gives a prize to all the finalists, because when we first started it, the 4 finalists were very excited about being finalists, but only one of them got a prize. So after, I think, the first year, maybe after the second year, Dale and all of us thought this was a brilliant idea to give all the finalists a prize. I think initially we believed very strongly, and we still do, that being a finalist should feel like being a winner. It wasn't so much a matter of who was the ultimate winner, but that the 4 finalists should get terrific media interest and coverage and prestige. And I think it's worked out like that. I'm very pleased to say that is how it's worked out. With the Turner Prize, for example, I usually can't remember who won. I can always remember the finalists, and I know if somebody was a finalist in the Turner Prize, but I couldn't tell you whether they were the winner or not. And I think to some extent that's what's happened here. We, right from the beginning, decided that good philanthropy should choose its targets and put trust in, and you shouldn't support things unless you trust them. We trusted the Auckland City Art Gallery to manage this properly, and so right from day one we have stayed right out of it. None of us funders or patrons or whatever we're called have any idea even who the jury is. We have no input whatsoever. We haven't the faintest idea who the finalists are, and then the gallery tells us who they're approaching as the international judge. And once they arrive, we help look after the judge and so on. But again, we go to the dinner on the night, like everybody else, to the Walters Prize dinner, and we haven't the faintest idea who the winner is. I think people are always surprised at that, but we think it's very important that we stay hands-off and have no input. Yes, well, this year is the 10th anniversary of the Walters Prize, and looking back, I think all of us would say it has exceeded our greatest expectations. We hoped that what it would do would be to profile really contemporary art and make people who are not normally art interested even take some notice. And I would have to say from the first year that the publicity and interest around the prize has exceeded all our expectations. We named it after Gordon Walters, who is of course a great New Zealand modernist painter. deliberately didn't name it after any living person or any of us, because over the years maybe other sponsors will come on board, things will come and go, things will change, but I think Gordon Walter's place in our history of art is assured in rather the same way, of course, that Turner is in Britain. It wasn't called the Saatchi Prize or the anything else prize after a living person, and I think that's very wise, and we've done the same. There's very little I think we would alter. We, from day one, insisted to the art gallery that we really wanted a top calibre international judge, and of course that brings in a complete new perspective. The jury are local, but appointed right through New Zealand, and they go around and look at all the exhibitions they can possibly look at, whether they're in dealer galleries or in art space or in institutions, over the 2-year period. And the jury don't even know each other, don't know who else is on the jury. So they bring a very independent view. They come and consult with each other at the end of the process and select their 4 finalists. And then you have another eye again, and it's, I think, very important that it's an international judge, because we're a small society and it's very easy to sort of bring on the usual suspects, and an outside judge has absolutely no idea who are the usual suspects. So we've been very thrilled at the calibre of people who've taken up this job. We started, of course, with Harold Zaman. We've had Robert Storr. We've just had a succession of really high-profile international judges. And I think even when they make unexpected choices, which they have done at times, everyone accepts it. There hasn't been as much controversy as we had thought, in a sense as much controversy as we had hoped, because there's been a general consensus that the process is so fair and transparent that, like it or not, whether you agree with the judge or not, people have to agree with the process. So we haven't had the absolute outrage at the process that a lot of local things have. I think if you walk into the gallery and come across the Walters Prize as a first-time visitor, it might strike you as being not very cohesive show, because it's not a curated show in the normal sense. But I think it would give you a really interesting overview and cross-section of really contemporary New Zealand art. And you'd get in one hit quite a good diversity of what consists of contemporary New Zealand art.